Welcome in, Cowboys Nation, the Cowboy Game Day Live, the halftime show, and it's exactly what I said at pregame that I didn't want to do, be pissed off at halftime. Cowboys down 20-21, and a whole lot to discuss here, but I'd be remiss if I didn't start with the showing that the defense had out there, specifically the secondary. If we talk about one specific person, Ron Bland has been getting targeted and getting whooped on in this game, but the Cowboys just doesn't seem to have any answer right now for kind of throw the ball up to these guys, whether it be in Jigba, Lockett's got a big pass interference, and DK Metcalf is just going off in this half.
Yeah, I think you said it best to what we were doing in the behind the scenes. You talked about the Cowboys defensively. They play so much of that man coverage, right?
Yep.
And this group being one of the best receiving trios in the National Football League. We talked about in the pregame what each one of these guys bring to the table, and it was always because of, all right, what Geno Smith is coming. We talked about the tricep/elbow injury and those guys being able to make plays. DK Metcalf, he's one of those guys that no matter where he gets the ball out on the football field, he can be a house call, a slant, an in route, a dig, whatever it is. And his size, his strength, his ability, 6'4", he's big, he's strong, he's fast. And to be honest with you, Deron Bland is having a bad night. He's getting worked tonight. But overall, defensively, there's some missteps. Some guys aren't playing coverage. You had Rashaan Evans one time having played on the middle of the field against Tyler Lockett. I mean, there are some things defensively that we have not seen them do, and the play they haven't get up. And you were talking about it offensively to start our pregame show. You said they got to play clean.
Got to play clean ball.
And that last drive, yes, the Seahawks made some plays, but the Cowboys aided it. I mean, they had 4 times where they just literally lined up off sides and
on one series.
On one series. You mean talking about 5 penalties, and all of them were legit. We can get into the referee thing, but they were all legit penalties on the Cowboys. And you can't beat good teams when you consistently shoot yourself in the foot.
7 penalties. There's 180 penalty yards in this first half between the two teams. 107 of them for the Cowboys. 7 penalties and a football's worth of penalties.
Football field
worth of penalties for the Cowboys. You cannot do that. And I know it might sound like, oh, well, it's just an offsides with 30 seconds left. Oh, it's just an offsides. Well, that's 10, 15 yards, free yards you're giving them that you shouldn't be. And what happens, you get down in that striking distance where if you're in that kind of green zone, gold zone area, 35, 40-yard line, you can just throw the ball up and see what happens. They get the ball at half, and that's exactly what happened. And Deron Bland's just been in a blender. And this is going to be a very important second half for him because what happens with cornerbacks, if they lose that confidence, they see it on the other side.
Yeah.
We'll just keep going. Somebody has to make a play. I was texting somebody about that. So this defense, you can feel they're on the third leg or the third game, and it looks like it, man. It looks like they're on that third leg, and they need a break. But unfortunately, not going to get one. You got 2 more quarters to play. So somebody has to make a play. The pressure is getting to Geno. It's getting home. You got a sack or what have you. You get some pressure, but there's nothing on the back end you're doing. And I don't understand why I said this to you, and you brought it up. We're being a bit stubborn here in this man coverage. And then on that particular 3rd and 2, why is Deron playing 15 yards off the ball? And not just off the ball, but he's giving them the sideline. I just don't understand what we're doing defensively. On the offensive side of the ball, the Cowboys are doing what they want. They're moving the ball up and down the field. 20 points should be at least 4 more points at the minimum put back on that board. 2 for 4 in the red zone. That's the difference right now. You convert one of them, you're up. You're only down. You're up 3 as opposed to being down by 1. You convert both of them, it's a 7-point game. So obviously they got to be better in the red zone per se. But it's that goal-to-goal line situation where you get down there and it's goal-to-goal, and the Cowboys haven't been able to punch it in. And when they did on 4th and goal, what was it? Penalty.
Yep.
So, the Cowboys are not playing clean football, and we said this time and time again in the pregame show, time and time again during the week. This is not a bad football team.
Right.
This isn't going to be one of those games you're just going to be able to roll out your helmet. You got to come to play because they got players on both sides of the ball, and right now it's their offense that you can't stop, which is wild.
No, and we like I said, we've talked about all of this stuff throughout the week. Geno Smith is not Bryce Young. Geno Smith is not Sam Howell. Geno Smith is not Tommy DeVito. Geno Smith is a good player, not a great player, not an elite quarterback. He's a good player. And I know you talk about it all week on your shows. He's a guy who wants to push the ball down the field, right? They want to push the ball down the field. So they're going to take those opportunities and say, if we can get some of these chunk plays, then that alleviate us having to matriculate the ball down the football field.
Yeah.
And they've gotten some of them. You can go back to the first quarter, on the first 73-yard touchdown from DK Metcalf, right? Deron Blanche playing good coverage. He undercuts it because he thinks he has a safety helping in the middle of the field. What happens? Donovan Wilson, who normally isn't playing in the middle of the football field, takes an egregious angle. They fit the ball in there, and no one's catching. I
don't understand what
DK
he was
Metcalf
saying right there.
I don't know either. It's catching DK Metcalf when he runs it, so they get on the board that way. But you got to be able to come up with some stops because this is a good football team with players who can make plays, and we said that throughout the game. And to be honest with you, I don't know if I'm not upset. I'm not frustrated. This is football.
This is what it normally is.
This is what it's normally like. We've been so accustomed to like Dak Prescott this year has literally set out a game's worth of time.
Literally, yeah.
Literally a game in the fourth quarters because it's been a blowout. Now this can be a blowout in the second half, but this is what normally happens in football games. There's a reason why scores are normally 3-point favorites, 4-point favorites, because the parity, it's always kind of it's not always, but it's most likely being this close in how the game plays out. And this is no different. The Cowboys are still in this football game. Seattle gets the ball out the half. You go into the halftime. You try to clean some things up. You make the adjustments. And again, 3 games in 12 days. All you're thinking about now is
get the dub,
and get out of
healthy.
here. That's it.
Yeah, we talked about it. Style points mean nothing, but even more so on this leg, you've got to get up out of here with the dub and get out of here healthy. Because if you lose this game, it's over in regards to the division. At the very least, it's over. You're getting the playoffs, but it's over for the division. So they got to come out here and make some adjustments. For me, number one would be to stop being so damn arrogant in playing so much man coverage on these critical downs, because this is mostly the critical downs.
Yeah, but
they got to mix it up.
As someone who, as a former player, I'm trying to think like how they think. If I've been so wildly successful in this, it's hard at times for coaches to say, because if you do certain things differently, like as far as if Donovan Wilson takes the right angle, it's not a touchdown, right? If someone gets home, it's not a completion. If you play these things right. So I hear what you're saying. 100% I hear what you're saying. But a defensive coordinator is saying, we've been wildly successful at doing it this way. Players have said we've been wildly successful doing it this way. Now at some point in time, do you have to come off the stubborn pedal? Yeah. Yes, I get that. But they're saying we're still in this game. We're going to make a play. The play is going to come for us. We got to just keep doing what we're doing. Be better not giving up penalties. But like Deron Blanche, you can't be 15 yards off on third and whatever it was when you know they have to get to the sideline.
That right there, you got to get in their chest, But, I don't know if I want them to keep doing what they're doing because they don't have an answer for it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying you go full flip to the other side, but I do think you have to do something to switch it up, because what's happening is you're playing this man and Geno's able to just drop back and he doesn't have to set his feet. He's just throwing the ball up.
Right.
Just put it in the area and these guys are making plays. So I would like to see them make Geno think. I think that's what I'm trying to get at. Like, make Geno have to sift through this, and then your coverage can get home, or your pass rush can get home. Your pass rush is putting pressure on him, but Geno doesn't. He's like, oh, one-on-one, or not Eskridge, and Jigba out easy, one-on-one. And look, credit to Shane Waldron. He's mixing it up, in my opinion, offensively. He's hitting you with some quick stuff to the tight end. Oh, all right, we'll get these quick 10 yards because nobody's covering them. Next thing you know, 30-yard pass, 40-yard pass interference. So they need to, clean it up, number one. That's probably the biggest thing, number one. If they play cleaner football, I talked about offense, but if you play cleaner football on the defensive side of the ball, I think you're probably not in this situation. But number two, somebody's got to make a play defensively. Your offense, this looks like your offense, you don't have to win this game, but somebody has to make a play on the defense side of the ball, man.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think offense will be just fine, and they'll be able to go out there and score points. But it comes down to we as Cowboy Nation, we sometimes say, well, Philadelphia is lucky. And I say sometimes they make the play when they need to make a play. This is one of those games. This is the game that the Cowboys are going to have to make a play when the play is needed.
Yes.
And you look to your guys like Deron Bland. You look to your guys like Micah Parsons. You look for those guys on your defense to say, hey, when we need a play the most, when we need to get off the field, this is the moment when the big-time players must step up and make those plays.
Absolutely correct, man. It's going to come down to that.
Yeah.
We're going to revisit this game, win or lose, and we're going to say it's those handful of plays.
Are they disciplined enough to do it? Are they disciplined enough to do it?
We'll see. Cowboys Nation, come on back. Join us in the post-game show live here at Walk On. Shouts out to Cowboys Experience and Triple Dog Irish Whiskey. We'll see if it's a flex.
We're going to see.
I will see you guys at